This land of ours is under attack. Time has come, we're gonna take it back. Just wait and see. Don't tread on me. I won't sit back, stand idly by, and watch the heart of my nation die. Oh, not me. Don't tread on me. Don't tread on my Bible, don't tread on my guns, don't you tread on my faith in God's only Son. Don't tread on me. Don't tread on me.
Yesterday was there. Except that.
Yeah, some rude bitch keeps coming up in the beginning of our thing and keeps interrupting us. I don't know who it is. Did you hear?
Who is
Here,
it?
watch again.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's that bitch again.
Yeah.
But yes, there's been did you watch the Doge thing? Actually, there's so much to be taken in. It's hard to know where to start off, but this is the remember the lefties losing it and I was telling you about?
Yeah. I might have seen this. Yeah, go ahead, though.
Lefties losing it. Let's start, lefties, with my favourite moment over the weekend where President Donald Trump called out the far-left Maine Governor, Janet Mills, who's refusing to abide by federal laws and protect women's sport from male bodies. Grab the popcorn and enjoy this exchange.
Is Maine here, the governor of Maine? Well, are you not going to comply with it?
I'm complying with state and federal laws.
Well, we are the federal law. Well, you better do it. You better do it because you're not going to get any federal funding at all if you don't. And by the way, your population, even though it's somewhat liberal, although I did very well there, your population doesn't want men playing in women's sports. So you better comply because otherwise you're not getting any federal funding.
See you in court.
Every state, good. I'll see you in court. I look forward to that. That should be a real easy one. And enjoy your life after governor, because I don't think you'll be in elected politics.
Oh, doesn't she look
Yeah,
mad
yeah,
there?
buddy.
Imagine being so committed to allowing men to invade women's sport that you go to court over it, that you defy federal laws. What sort of extreme left simpleton would do something like that? Well, ladies and gentlemen, here's something the Maine governor prepared earlier.
You can run, but you know it's ending. At the bottom of the grave, you're digging.
I have no words for that. Let's check in with the former Veep, the woman.
Yeah, I was going to skip on Kamala's bullshit, whatever the hell she had to say. There was one more little segment here that will lead up to what we're about to talk. Huh?
She's still, she talks, word salad quite well. She's very good at that.
Yeah.
After happy hour is finished. Now, I have some depressing news for lefties losing it fans around the world. And this segment, every single night, gets millions of views online. And regular fans would know that MSNBC anchor Joy Reid has been a rich source of material for me. But alas, today she was sacked. Where will I find content like this?
In America, there's a thing about both white vigilantism and white tears, particularly male white tears. Really white tears in general, because that's what Karens are, right? They Karen out, and then as soon as they get caught, it's like, Green Waterworks. White men can get away with that too. And it has the same effect. Even as the right tries to politicize the idea that masculinity is being robbed from American men by multiculturalism and wokeism, they still want to be able to have their tears.
I really do hope she's now got more time to post on social media because I need that sort of content. This show doesn't put itself together. I need the lefties to lose it. And not only is Joy Reid a nasty extreme left race baiter, but she's also stupendously stupid. Just listen to this analysis, if you can call it that, of Kamala Harris's election campaign.
I mean, this really was an historic, flawlessly run campaign. Queen Latifah never endorses anyone. She came out and endorsed. I mean, she had every prominent celebrity voice. She had the Taylor Swift, she had the Swifties, she had the Beehive. Like, you could not have run a better campaign in that short period of time. And I think that's still true.
Even the other MSNBC nincompoops looked embarrassed there, but I've got to say, I'm genuinely shattered that she's been fired. I've just got my fingers crossed that The View give her a role. And we will have plenty more lefties.
Well, yeah, crap. I thought that was quite interesting. Shit. I lost the don't share button anymore.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, you hit the button and you push it away. Oh, here. I think escape. There we go. Escape. Because Steve, if you see my screen,
Yeah.
okay, if you want to hide this, here's the quick buttons for it. It's Control Alt plus Shift plus H. Thank you, Zoom. Oh fuck. I did it again. But yeah, that's what it is to get out of sharing. Or to get that little bar to go away. Because before we just hit share and not have to worry about that bar up there.
Yeah, well, if I just bring the cursor down, it shows back up.
Not after what you do with once you share screen and you're not host.
Oh. All
But
right.
yeah, I thought that was quite interesting because you remember how we talked earlier today of how you said that lady was fired. I was gonna say your favorite person, but not really.
Lady was fired. Oh, yeah.
Joy Reid.
Yep. Yep. What a race baiter.
Yep.
Spewer of hatred and division. Basically what she is. And
Couldn't
for
happen
her to say that God put her in that position, it's not. It's the other God. But I won't say his name.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yes. It's actually needs to happen. And it couldn't happen to a better person.
No, it's happening all over. They're slowly being taken down. And then everybody was, super worried about, all of the federal employees sending in 5 things of what they did the other week. I guess it's a bit of a shocker because they've never had to do that before.
Did you I'll whip it up real quick before I say it, but did you see, or as I'm saying, did you see what Elon Musk posted?
And I might have, but go ahead.
I'm looking it up as we speak because I didn't have it queued up, but he posted the 5 things of what he did for what he did this weekend. And man, he posts a lot. I have to go find it real quick because it's not saved on this computer, but yeah, it was quite hilarious. It's like complain about Trump, complain about Elon, cry, complain about Elon more, and then complain about Elon and Musk. And then I forgot what the 5th one was. Wow, he does post a lot.
Wow. Listening to the Benny Johnson show, though, he was talking about, he had a whistleblower on there. And that whistleblower literally was talking about how the FBI, the people in there, are deleting stuff, getting rid of it, trying to hide stuff. So I just hope that Kash Patel and Bongino are on top of that and tell everybody they need to cut a lot of people off from access to any machines.
Yeah.
And until they go in there.
I think there's other stuff because when Q says we have it all, I believe him.
Yeah, I think this is stuff that they're getting rid of that they have anyways. I believe the 33,000 emails are there too.
Yep.
Right
next to the Epstein Island list.
Yeah, all the FBI files. Yeah. Anyways, I was looking for that, not to change directions too quick here, but I was looking for the ship that, not Space Command. Oh my gosh. I didn't eat hardly any junk food either. I'm just kind of all of a sudden, probably after eating is a problem.
Uncle Tom.
Space Command, right? Space
Go ahead.
Command.
Yeah, I think so.
Why didn't that sound right? Anyways, though, they do have an aircraft that is a space plane. And as I looked for it back, I just should have saved it right away. But a guy somehow had a leaked video, whether it be true or not, an actual space plane that does an elliptical orbit around the Earth, and it was taking pictures of it, and you can see part of the structure of it when they were taking pictures. What are you doing, Jax? Excuse me, he's under the table chewing on something at the desk. So, but that's just an example of stuff that's out there, technology-wise, that's out there. And, you know, all this money we've wasted has been stolen from everybody. Us, the taxpayers, we could have been extremely advanced. It could have been if it was directed to the correct places instead of the politicians' pockets, like AOC, for example. You know, all those kind of guys. You still looking for that?
Yeah, but I don't. My problem is I do a little bit, or I save a little bit of videos and photos and stuff like that on the phone. Then I do it on this computer. Then I do it on the other computer.
Yeah.
You know, I have to try to get it all together, but yeah, it's too late to try to find it. But did you know, certain people are at Gitmo right now? And I mean, visiting Gitmo, as in, when's that last time you thought you'd see that much at Gitmo?
Never. That's the first time I've ever seen that much of Gitmo.
I'd actually love to have a computer or a camera like this thing. That thing's kind of cool.
Yeah, I guess it's probably pretty easy to do good videos with.
Yeah, I see the antennas, and then yeah. Well, I just think it's kind of cool. Off subject, but yeah, they're at Gitmo. I didn't even know they get to have this. Was not picturing a big runway. I don't know why, but I mean, if
That's
they could do
the tarmac, that's why.
Yep.
Yeah,
Concrete.
that's just a tarmac area where they park everything.
Well, no, I was just thinking landing strip, like what size?
Oh,
they
I wouldn't honestly know. I bet you they got a 5,000 footer, if not longer, or 10,000.
Probably. I don't know how to use the Google Pro measurement anymore. It's not as easy as it used to be. But yeah, Laura Ingram posted that she's heading to Gitmo. And then they have this one of the tarmac, because they are limited. You can't show this, you can't show that. And they actually take everything. All your electronic devices, everything. They go, yeah. And they search you. And they probably, actually, I know they have dogs that smell and know exactly what a hard drive smells like. Not because of this, but because they were looking for pedophiles and people are stashing them. And pedophiles, pedophiles are not people anymore. They're demonic. Stash them in walls and other things like that where you didn't even know where it was. And the dogs can sniff it out. And I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, they show you exactly what picture you can take out, what pictures you can't take. They'll delete them.
Yeah, because that doesn't have a bunch of stuff on it. Well, look at the Hispanic or the excuse me, the Venezuelan or the Mexican guy that just got home. He was in Gitmo for 14 days. He says he'll never illegally cross the border again after what he went through for 14 days. A little cell, dirty, crappy food.
That's what it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be a luxury condo ride.
Right, right.
But yeah, I mean, this is all they have is those three. And then she has one video out that she posted with it. Oh, two, I guess.
And guess what? Okay, guess where I am? And guess what you're going to learn
Egypt.
when you watch our show? You're going to learn the truth about Guantanamo Bay, what the left wants you to believe, what the critics are saying, but what we found here. And it's fascinating. We have a mission to keep our country safe and to move migrants out of the United States, illegal aliens, and high priority illegal aliens, medium priority, low priority. Guess what? A lot of them are going to making their way through this place, and it's about time we learned a little bit more about it. And I had a lot of fun here. Phenomenal people. We have a great country. We've got to keep it that way. From Guantanamo Bay.
Oh, so it says Navy and who's that one? Army? The top one.
Air Force? Navy? No, it's Air Force.
Looking right.
I don't know. Have to blow it up.
Let's see.
Or something, United States something.
Oh, shit, wrong. Good.
Yeah, you have to go around your elbow to scratch your ass when it comes to Windows. This is a lot of work just to zoom in on something, Steve.
That's just insane. Everything's too complicated.
I just have too much opened up now for the, you know.
Yeah.
Navy. So that's
Oh.
Navy. I thought that they're both Navy. I get no, I don't know if that's Department of Defense. No,
Let me see.
I can't tell this one. I
I
think it says
can't
Navy
either.
too. I think
Well,
it
they're
says-
all Navy.
yeah. Well, you would think
All
it'd
of
be
them. Well, it's a naval base, U.S. Naval Station. Would
I know.
be, yeah.
You've been at a couple of that, you know that they're different. You know what I mean? They have they might have a Navy thing or a Air Force or a,
Yeah.
I don't know. You want to go backwards and hear the not that well, I mean I guess we can hear that part, but I think there's one where yes, this one right here.
We're getting ready to depart for Gitmo. We're getting ready to depart for Gitmo. It's about 7:30 in the morning. Early risers in the military, of course, with the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth. There's a big mission underway at Gitmo. We're going to tell you a little bit about it, involving moving some of the illegal immigrants out of the United States who are seeking, we're seeking asylum here. But this is going to be an exciting trip and very informational for all the viewers of The Angle. Look forward to seeing you for the report.
Might have to watch Fox once.
Yeah, well, lately I've had to watch a little bit of Fox, you know, because they're, you know, Jesse Waters, you know, and Kudlow. I listen to those two guys. I don't watch Hannity much anymore because of after what happened when he was trying to force the injection on everybody, the jab. So yeah, I'm kind of really, yeah, I just don't trust him like I used to, you know.
Yep, that stuff was poison.
Yeah,
I mean, it still is poison, it's still flowing through people's veins.
still going. Now, the Congress did pass Trump's House resolution for his agenda. That did get passed. Total party lines too. Total party lines. And I got on a CBS one because I just clicked on it. You should have saw all the comments from the people that watch CBS. Pretty bad. They're like, they didn't get the memo. They don't have it. The stork or the, you know, the messenger pigeon didn't make it.
Well, some of it, Steve, you also have to remember this bot farm.
Yeah. They're probably going crazy on that stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, because, you know, these major networks, what are they down? 20-something%?
I
That's all
think
they got left.
that's a fake poll too.
Yeah. I think Trump favorability and Doge favorability is much higher than what is being shown. But then again, too, there's still, a lot of people that haven't really come out of the slumber. They like what's going on, but they haven't really come out of the slumber.
Speaking about that, Steve, I don't know, are you done with it? Because I was
Yeah.
getting ready to take it to a another slumber part. So this got me thinking of something that Marjorie Taylor Greene, someone did the this post of all these planes chemtrailing. You can see it spatter on.
Look up. Have you seen that before?
All she says, you can see that, but have you seen that before? This is what we.
Yeah, those aren't contrails. That's chemtrails there.
Look up. Have you seen that
Yep.
before?
Marjorie Taylor Greene talked about this. So the reason why I bring that up is because we got nailed this 2 days ago.
Look up. Have you seen that before?
I saved the planes, but I guess it's not showing me the pictures anymore that I had set up.
What do you mean? You had some good pictures set up?
Oh no, I had them in the browser. It's okay.
Oh.
I did that. This is what I had in the web browser open up. So these are refillers up here doing stuff. So they were side by side, two of them. And by the time I took a picture of it, in Omaha, where I am right here, they were side by side. I'll show you the video of it. And they came out of Wichita.
Oh,
I have, and if,
Have you seen that before?
actually, to be honest with you, in case they want to, hold on, I got to stop this lady. She keeps going over and over and over again. You know how,
yeah.
that stuff goes. But yeah, I mean, that's the, I don't know what, if that's the tail number or, whatever they need to do to find these guys. Oh yeah, hey, I guess it opened up in the web browser, and it was out of Wichita. These airplanes. I'm waiting for the other to load up.
Yeah, all that haze up there, that's all chemtrails.
I know, and look at these
That's
two.
all clouds.
Two refillers right now.
Quote unquote. Those are the refillers side by side. Unfortunately, these power lines that we need to get rid of coming up
Yeah.
is the problem why it's not zooming in all of it. It's zooming on the foreground. So I'll grab the other video, but yeah, they didn't do all of it. They just came through like you saw with the video, but man, side by side, I'll zoom out and you can see them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they need to remove the budgeting from that department.
Immediately.
Yeah, let's leave our planet alone. Let it go back to normal.
Those are
Instead of
both military
poisoning the
aircraft
soil.
refillers.
Yep.
Refuelers, sorry.
I didn't know at the very end it came like that because it was really bright this day. This was just before all of our snow melted. So, it was white down, white up.
Yeah.
I don't wear glasses, but that was.
Well, they kept a lot of the sun from hitting the ground. Let me let Jax out real quick here.
Yeah, I'll just continue on with this.
All right.
Both of them military.
They're still riding around.
Well, they even, like they were doing it today like crazy too, then they quit. But we would be a lot warmer here right now if they weren't doing this stuff.
I mean, look at that.
Military.
That is not coming out of the exhaust. It might look like it, but it's not. That's spray. And those guys can carry gallons and gallons of shit. And I don't know why they were
Well, it's not going away like a chemtrail does. I mean, like a contrail.
Yeah. Did you see
All that up there, that's mostly all chemtrail stuff. That's how those form.
I mean, look at it.
You have a perfectly blue day. Those aren't fluffy clouds. Those are weird looking clouds.
Happy clouds, my butt. And then this is what I came in to make sure I showed what it was.
Military filler KCR 135. I mean, sorry.
It is those that were doing it, and I saw them. See, they were side by side stacked. And it's not, like I said, it's not like they were chemtrailing or contrailing or anything like that. I don't know what this video was. Oh yeah, see, I went back out and see the line's still, and they continue the whole way across our land, or not our land, but our
The
sky,
yeah.
spraying it. And I one of our podcast moron people that we used to know, the reason why I call him a moron is because if you know the truth and you're still lying, you're a moron or a liar, one of the two.
Really?
Both. I'm saying, Steve, remember the whole bullshit of, oh, that stuff out of that's hydroxychloroquine that they're spraying out of those trees.
Oh, that was the anti-COVID stuff.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
Of course he knew.
Chloroquine. Oh.
This is where people have to be called out of, when bullshit is bullshit, and liar needs to be a liar again. And also same thing with all the other stuff that's immoral that's going on. Needs to be called out immediately, not, oh, I'll do it later, or I'll write a blog about it, or oh no, maybe I'll pray about it later on.
Yeah.
Maybe you could pray right then and there and deal with it right then and there as well. Because I've seen some people actually doing that stuff like that in California of rebuking like the witch stores and stuff like that. And a year later, they go back and they're gone.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a couple of those in this town.
Speaking about witch store, I have another thing queued up, Steve.
What's that?
Our favorite department of the government is put up.
Is like from all these USA disclosures. Is the mainstream media cannot ever say that anything this administration is doing is positive. So even if they find unbelievable corruption,
right,
and they've found some really wild shit, like what was the $4.7 trillion in untraceable money?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I sent that to you, right?
Yeah, yeah, you did. Yeah, that was Doge. Was digging through the. Essentially the way that money is audited within the government, and they look at the data sets and how things are divided and how you have to explain what's going on. And the idea is that there's a lack of links to payments, outgoing payments, budget line items. So this payment goes out. What is it for? Right? It would be the same thing if you had and I have a business. And in that business, you have to know what you're spending your money on, right? I mean, that's a logical thing. I'm not a rocket scientist. But what they're saying is that they've there you go.
Yeah, here it is. So it's the Treasury Access Symbol, TAS, is an identification code linking Treasury payment to a budget line item, standard financial process. In the federal government, the TAS field was optional for $4.7 trillion in payments and was often left blank.
Yeah,
making traceability almost impossible. As of Saturday, this is now a required field, increasing insight into where money is actually going.
It would be like
if Treasury for the great work.
It would be like if I got my monthly reports, my monthly numbers from our finance director, and I looked at it, and there's the outgoing line, so I can see how much money's going out. But there's nothing that links it to where did it go? Did it go to pay a vendor? Did it go to pay rent? Did it go to pay staff?
Who bought a jet?
Yeah, who bought a jet? Yeah. By the way, when a company buys a jet, it's usually that's a key fraud indicator.
If
right?
a company buys a jet,
if a
all
company
companies?
Buys, not all
the
companies.
UFC bought
not
a
all
jet.
companies. Let me just make a note of that. UFC jet. No, it's what I mean is obviously it's not like if it's Nike or an established large business.
But you're making so much money you can buy a jet.
Right. If you've got a business that in a space and it's a growing business or it's a new business or a startup, whatever. A purchase of a jet usually is a fraud indicator on the list of all the fraud indicators.
Means you cashed in your meme coin.
Yeah.
Have you thought about a Mike Baker meme coin yet?
You know what? It's funny you should say that.
It seems like it's legal gambling is what it is. And it seems like even though it's horrible to do, and
That wasn't the one I was thinking about. I was actually they did a Doge meeting,
Oh, really?
which is this one. But
Well, that's pretty interesting. There's 4.7 trillion untraceable.
Yep.
That's crazy.
yeah, it is. It's insane. I mean, that you guess what that reminds me of? Donald Rumsfeld. Remember that?
Oh yeah, the day before 9/11. Oh, we have $2 trillion we cannot find. Kabam! Well, talk about a distraction.
And it hit the exact same spot where they had the hardware.
Oh, they had the accounting right there in the Pentagon, and that's exactly where that missile hit. Not an airplane. That was probably a cruise missile.
This whole thing is really good to listen to, but this next governor that comes in, Steve, you gotta listen to it because it shocked Mom.
Great state of Virginia we go, where Representative Ben Klein is up next. Go get him, Big Ben.
all right, thank you,
Hey, buddy, you got it, my friend.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to thank you for all the work that you're doing as chair of the Doge Caucus, working alongside colleagues from, as was said, across the ideological spectrum to make sure that we save taxpayers' money, that we make government work for the people and not the other way around. And to that end, we're working to make sure that your tax dollars are spent wisely. For too long, Washington has treated taxpayer dollars like monopoly money, spending without accountability, racking up over $35 trillion in debt, fueling waste, fraud, and abuse at the expense of hardworking Americans. It's time to restore sanity to our budget and put a stop to reckless government handouts and get our nation's spending back on track. So we need to start by recognizing every single dollar spent by the federal government is a dollar taken from the American people. This isn't Washington's money, it's not the bureaucracy's money, it's your money, the taxpayers' money. It should be spent wisely. So that's why I've reintroduced the No Welfare for the Wealthy Act. It's a common sense bill that will close a loophole that allows millionaires to qualify for food stamps. It makes no sense that because of broad-based categorical eligibility, better known as BBCE, states are ignoring federal income and asset limits when they hand out benefits. So they're handing out benefits to individuals who own vacation homes, boats, RVs, all on the taxpayer's dime. This is exactly the kind of waste that Doge was created to target, and exactly what this caucus is all about fighting. You know, this is not about denying help to those who need it. It's about stopping the abuse of hard-earned taxpayer dollars and restoring integrity to a system that has been failing the American people for far too long. Under BBCE, more than 5 million able-bodied individuals who shouldn't qualify for food stamps are receiving them. And yes,
how many?
Including
5 million?
Meanwhile,
how many you say, Preston?
American people.
I round it. Hold on.
For far too long. Under BBCE, more than 5 million able-bodied individuals who shouldn't qualify for food stamps are receiving them. And yes, including millionaires. Meanwhile, American families who actually need help are left struggling under a system that prioritizes bureaucratic expansion over accountability. The No Welfare for the Wealthy Act puts an end to this nonsense by ensuring states can no longer bypass federal limits and abuse this broken system. And let's talk about the price tag. Taxpayers are footing a nearly $100 billion bill every year to fund food stamps. Fixing this loophole will save more than $11 billion annually. That's real money and should be going to those who actually need assistance, not those who are gaming the system. We have a president in the White House who's willing to stand up to waste, fraud, and abuse in government and demand accountability. And with President Trump's leadership, Doge and a Republican majority in Congress, I'm optimistic, will restore fiscal responsibility, government accountability, and protect taxpayer dollars. So I call on Congress, let's do our job. Let's put an end to this waste and restore integrity to government programs and ensure that every tax dollar is spent with the same care and responsibility that American families use when managing their own budgets. The American people deserve no less. I want to thank the chairman and yield back.
Well done, Ben. No, that's it.
Wow.
That's just insane, isn't it?
But
remember
how,
that? But
no, it's just, it blows me away.
And
5 million people on food, and a lot of them are very wealthy.
And remember all those times you were saying, Steve, that I could qualify for food stamps. You were joking, but
Yeah,
you could.
I could.
But yeah, I mean, it's insane. And I have to jump through loopholes. Oh, speaking about this, just like we talked about this afternoon, disability.
Yeah.
I don't, as me having disability like problems, because our words are powerful. I still have symptoms of stuff. And with that said, I do get disability payments. But what I'm getting at is I'm willing to go back in and requalify. And I know there is a bunch of fraud going in the disability and others like that going, just the feeling or the thought of Trump, or it's not just Trump. They get anxious or something like that, and they get a disability card, or they're too fat. Same thing. I mean, literally, that's all they are, is just too fat.
Or they got anxiety issues.
Yeah.
We all, our depression, we all get that. That's normal thing in life.
And and then they get that, and then they get paid, and then they use that. They abuse the system, and they make it look bad. So that's why I said, I'll say it, I do not mind actually having everybody go requalify if you have to, that way, if you're obviously not, visually, some of those can be fast tracked, you know what I mean?
Actually, you can see it. Someone that has a limp, or they have to use a walker or a wheelchair. Something of that nature.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Something that can be fast tracked, but somewhere where it's something like me, where you can't tell with like looking right away. Yeah. And knowing some of these being fraud cases, because, they, with the government, they can't single out, otherwise they could be sued, in this sue happy ass world. And yeah.
Well, what happens when, Christine Noem of the DHS finds they know who leaked from the DHS, FBI, and so what I'm thinking is those people are going to get perp walked, fired and perp walked, because we need to send a message. The American people, we voted Trump in to clean all this up, to put people in place to do it, not to be hindered by people that at this point, if they do that, then they are a traitor to the United States of America. They are traitors and need to be arrested and go to military tribunal, because these people they're protecting are gang members that are invaders from another country. They are truly traitors.
And it's not just gang members, it's drug cartels,
Right.
terrorists, mental asylum, asylumists, military. Not to mention militaries, other militaries, not just Chinese military, but I heard African military was in here. Other militaries. I don't know of any specific other than those two I've heard and seen at the border. Like I've seen other people's videos where, oh, look, it's supposed to be, every Central Southern American. Since when did Asia become a Central American, and when did African become a Central American country or South?
No, we've got everybody coming in all over the world.
They're trying to get.
I bet you to say, I bet they were forming an army. And if Salad Talker got in, Word Salad Talker got in, that army would be getting formed up. Yeah. We would be in a world of hurt. The whole world would go into turmoil. Just like I was watching Zelensky, the stiletto, leather, skin tight, moving like a man should never move kind of guy. Normal guys can't move that way unless there's something wrong with you. But anyways, he was saying he only got 84 billion out of the 350 billion. He didn't say 350, he said 180. And then he goes and gifted that to us. I don't give a rat's butt if that rubber-faced, whoever the hell that guy is playing Biden, I don't care what he said. That's our money. We want it back, or you give us 500 billion in rare earth metals, materials. Yeah. But the way he was just saying, he was so arrogant. It's our money. And so the Ukrainian people need to figure out how to get this bozo out of there. Because they have a failed comedian, actor. They got to get him out of there. He's just killing people. There's no reason for this war to be going on anymore. It needs to stop. Innocent people are dying for what? People have lost families. I mean, just so much. Why they're on the end, he's got his 2 yachts and how many mansions and all his little cronies. And of course, that money came back through. And that's why people like AOC are worth $30-some million. Pelosi's what, hundreds of millions of dollars. Even Mitch McConnell.
Kickbacks is what it was.
Yeah, it's that. And then you got Shifty Schiff. That guy, he's really scared acting. When people have eyes like that, and that's like eyes of fear. You can see all the cornea around your eyes, like those look like eyes of fear. We'll call it eyes of fear. There we go.
Someone said the Eyes of March are coming up.
I know. So
because that's when it all starts, but or not starts, but that's when the regime, but Trump.
I was looking at some of the other politicians, and their faces are indicating they're in a lot of trouble. You can see it in their faces that they're in deep doo-doo, so to speak. So, and what, you didn't think about Suicide Weekend from Q. What are we really looking at that? Because a lot of these people know they're going down.
Well, this was not another 4-year election, another Q, but also, if you think about it, what's happening, it's not what happened with Trump's last election, or last term. He actually is not fighting them just like they're fighting it. And it's not a shadow presidency, because people need to go back and look. Everywhere where Trump went, Obama went after him.
Yeah.
Almost like the same thing as what happened when Biden was president, or resident, I mean. Trump did the same thing. Everywhere where Biden went, Trump went afterwards. But,
sounds like a commercial. Oh, Biden.
Well, the reason why I say Biden is because Obama was.
Yeah, I know. Biden, Obama the dumpster fire too.
From the basement,
Yeah.
That's what he was going to do.
Dumpster fire from the basement.
Wait till we find out what happened. Oh, speaking about that, the dumpster fire guy, we are having some good trolls on our side, by the way.
Yeah.
Since we got the Contrail thing done, let me, I want to show you real quick of, yeah. Okay, you know who that is, right?
Yes.
What's that? You get it?
No, what is it?
That's a paddleboard. Obama and a paddleboard. They killed.
Oh, yeah. The guy, his cook that died.
Yeah.
Yeah, on a paddleboard.
Why is he wearing a paddleboard?
Oh my gosh, that is so coincidental. That's I would have never, till you said paddleboard, then it dawned on me.
As soon as I saw that picture, I was like, what?
So the truth's going to come out about that. I mean, I'm seeing everywhere that the old Bumpster and Mr. Michael are getting a divorce. Whether that's true or not, I don't know.
Why are all these transvestite relationships breaking up if they're so happy?
Oh,
Yeah. Bill
yeah.
Gates, that one.
You can't, because I don't know. I just don't see happiness really existing in those kind of relationships. There's more tolerance, maybe some contentment, but I don't know, man. It just isn't, it's unnatural.
Well, that's what you said the other day. You and I were talking about this months ago. You brought up that the energy is not male energy and female energy exchanging within each other. There's not happiness. Plus, I'm going to add something else onto it that's a little bit graphic. They do say when you females receive male sperm, obviously sperm, it stops the depression and does some other stuff with their hormones and their body. And that's science.
It stops their depression, you said?
Yes, helps with their depression. And sometimes stops. But yes, helps with that, helps with their mood, helps with other stuff, you know what I mean? Not sexual wise, but helps out, mood because of, I mean, that's what God intended it to be. Not,
way we're created for a reason in certain ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I'm watching these guys, even on Joe Rogan, there's a guy talking about the Ice Age and stuff like this, and the Earth, flooded from the Ice Age. And it wasn't from the Ice Age. The Earth only had 15% water on its surface. The rest of the Earth was like a giant garden. But however, no, there was an area off the Philippines, which is known as Ophir, Havela, and I think it Divine, what is that called again? Well, anyway, the place of the righteous. Well, there is an area to the east of there that was a wasteland, a desert. And that's where Gabriel took, I can't remember his name, the head watcher. Yeah, see, I'm not remembering names. This isn't any good tonight. I don't know why I can't remember his name all of a sudden. See, I'm not doing well here. Anyways, took him, and that's where he cast him into the pit. So these areas are now flooded with water because when the water receded, it still left a lot of water on the surface. That's why the land masses are so different now in their appearance versus when the earth flooded, before the flood. So that's why things don't look the same, because not all the water receded. That's why at the North Pole, when you go into ancient maps, there were like 4 continents up there, but now they're covered with water. How I went that way, I don't know, man.
Yeah. Well,
I shouldn't eat dinner tonight. That's what happened.
Well, you're talking about the ice wall.
Yeah.
I was listening to Juan because people were regurgitating it, and he disappeared for a little bit. Yes, I know he's not a guru, and I keep mentioning him, but him, Dan Bongino, like you said, Benny Johnson, a bunch of others seem to be starting to cream rising to the crop, is what we're say, the ones that are starting to become more truthful. Not everybody's 100% truthful all the time. There's still shit going around that might not be right or whatever. Anyways, he mentioned the ice wall, like you said. He said that these guys, you can go hiding in your, he didn't say bunker, but he said, well, maybe he did say bunker. You can hide in your bunker. You can go deep. You can go to the ends of the earth. He says you can go anywhere you want. We'll still come and find you. And he even somehow mentioned, oh, even if you go to the ice wall, the edge of
Really?
the wall will find you.
Yeah. Azel. That was the name of the head angel of the following ones. Yeah, Azel. Yeah, so personally, I just pure conjecture here, and then looking at ancient maps, but it would seem the planet that we're living on is much, much bigger than we realize. And there's a good probability that maybe we are held in an ice wall, and outside the ice walls, there's 3 of them or 4 of them. There's other worlds as far as other beings, creatures, different parts of the planet. It's a pretty good probability.
Technology.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at pictures of Earth, it's almost like it's just it's round, but the outer edges are really dark. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being crazy here, but
Well, what I'm noticing is everyone I see now, there's no millions and millions and millions of stars out there. Like if you know what we see at your house, when you go outside of your deck and you look out, even though you still have pollution from Denver, you can look out, you could see, well, you wouldn't be Denver, you would be Colorado Springs, but that's beside the point. Of seeing all those stars out there, and then you see all these pictures from NASA and all the others, it's black, everything is black, and then it's just that. Yeah, I don't know, they're hiding something. I don't that or what's going on.
When I was listening to, I think it was Glenn, he said when he was doing the spacewalks, he said it was so bright out there, you didn't need a light in his notebook. You could see everything fine. It was that bright from the stars. It wasn't black at all. It was very, very bright. So maybe they're filtering it so you can see. I don't know. It's hard to say what they're doing.
It's also hard to tell what's true now because their podcasters told us, I believe it was 2020 or 2019, that our sun went from white or yellow, like it has been my entire lifetime that I ever knew, to white. And some guys with really, really good cameras and different lenses on it have noticed it's got multiple little dots on there, kind of like a different version of this.
Oh.
And their lenses coming through, shining at it. So, it makes you wonder what happened. And then remember I showed you that Chinese satellite that mimics the sun.
Mm-hmm.
And Russia has one, United States has one, makes you wonder what's going on. And our plants have been doing weird things for a good 6-7 years. We don't know if it's just that, the extra poisons they've been putting in our in the air that I just showed earlier, or the GMOs. I don't know if it's all the above too, because we're having seeds now that are seedless. I remember back in our day, Steve, you have to poop out just like you did just like you did
like watermelon or apples, or everything had seeds in it. Everything.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of everything. I believe it because the air with the chemtrails, and it affects the sunlight. And then you got genetically modified food. Then the stuff from the chemtrails falls into the soil, causes other problems. So then they use all these chemicals to make things grow really big and pretty. So a lot of fruit and stuff we're seeing is like, yeah, it's all just, it's chemically growing. Genetically, it's been altered. So then guess what? It doesn't match your body anymore. So your receptors don't accept it. So you get hungry. So you go and you start eating everything in sight. And then you become a sight. Literally. And I think that's one of the things RFK is going to go after, obviously.
He actually, speaking of him, he is outside the, I was trying to find the photo for this, but I saw a photo where he's out. He took a picture of himself and put it on his medias. He's outside Monsanto right now.
Oh, oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're probably inside burning files, shredding stuff, smashing computers.
All you got to do is grab their stuff and know. But what I meant is, for example, God makes no mistakes. Like you see our bananas, they're huge, and then back in the day, God did a little bitty ones. Oh, we don't mostly see No,
when I was on Guam as a kid,
nutrients.
The bananas are only that big, maybe that big at the best.
No, you can
wild off banana trees.
You can still get them, Steve. Like we have that size growing here in Omaha. Like our botanical garden thing. It's not a botanical garden, but it's same thing. It's not the name of it. Like your place is literally named that. But anyways, yeah, they're small bananas, but they don't feed it because like, oh, we spray pesticides on them, so we don't feed it anywhere. I was like, that is the dumbest shit. You guys have a coffee slash smoothie bar up there. Try to do something more natural in here and do something about the bugs by trying to get some other bugs to eat it. Because mostly I think it's gnats and fruit flies that they're getting it. And
well, isn't there something else they can spray on it that's not an insecticide?
Yeah, I call it liquid ass, but it's neem oil. Because if you smell neem oil, it literally smells like liquid ass. But yeah, it's oof. It's rough. This is what I was talking about. Well, let me see if I can
Can't
turn
really
it.
see it.
I know I gotta
turn the contrast down.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Cool.
So yeah, he was outside of Monsanto to I don't know to do what, but we already know that that's what Roundup is what a lot of the people's wheat tolerance is low into. I'm pretty sure Monsanto is also one of those because it's they used to be with Bayer, or I think they got bought out by Bayer, and they're big chemical company. So that would probably be how we're getting all these nanotech and nanobites and parasites. They're two different things, but they're all. They could all zap your energy. They could eat your guts from the inside, literally. That's how, when you go into gas, or, well, for me, it's when I go into gas stations or bathrooms or something like that, you smell people with bad shit. That's usually what it is that their gut.
Oh, yeah, it smells really bad. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Well, it just, yeah.
It's like, dude, you need to go flush yourself out.
Literally. Go take a colonoscopy. Yourself, yeah, at home. But yes, that's what the food's doing. And then you see some of these truckers, but that's all they have access. Food is all the junk. Or
look how big all the truckers are now. When I was a kid, the truckers weren't big like that. They were pretty stout looking guys.
They looked like that movie that we watched at your house, Steve. Remember that one?
Which one was that?
The one with the cab, or not the cab, the black truck.
Was that
it was on YouTube.
Yeah. It wasn't Duel. Was it Sigourney Weaver, whatever his first name was? Or was it another kind of movie with the black truck?
No, it must have been that one. I don't know. I don't remember what the whole premise was about, but I remember the cops were always after his ass.
Yeah, I don't know. That wasn't it. That was
Convoy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, it's Convoy. Yeah. Yeah, but back in those days, even if you look at pictures and videos or like whatever from those days, there wasn't that many heavyset people. And now we got a lot of heavyset. I'm even getting the chicken neck going because I need to exercise more and not eat
Same
some of
here.
the crap I've been eating.
You know how everybody was telling me in the pictures, you gotta, extend your neck. It's like right now,
Oh,
it makes it look like I have a double chin, like I'm a fat ass. But it's like,
what
I'm
are you
not
gonna do? Yeah. It's, yeah, man. See you later.
great show, man.
Yeah.
Who was that guy? Slam into a slam jam. That he was like high on coke. It sounded like the whole fucking time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Something like that. It's gonna be a good day, brother.
Yeah.
I know I mixed that with Hulk Hogan, but you know what I mean. But no, this is getting even more fun. I just want to know when the checks are coming in because it'd be nice to or not nice. Unfortunately, we need the money. It would be nice to have this in a full blown Trump's economy to where you can actually make your money last.
Oh, go out and enjoy it or do something good with it and something lasting, sure, instead of going towards bills and what have you.
Going to wherever all of your money's going anyway.
Yeah.
Not just yours, but everybody's, Steve.
But in a way, it's going to boost the economy. That will boost it because we're not printing more from the Federal Reserve. And all the Federal Reserve has to do is lower the interest rates and things will do much better. I was at Walmart tonight. Before COVID, like I'll get the beef sausage things in a pack. They're kind of, you got to cut them up. Used to like Polish sausage, but they're made out of beef. Those originally before COVID were about $2.68. Now, and they've been at $3.98 forever. I was walking by tonight when I went over to Wally World, Walmart. They actually went to $4.96 within the last 2 weeks. Then I buy these special beef hot dogs with no nitrates. They're all beef. They're kind of expensive. Those literally jumped 35+% cents just from the other week. So why is everything suddenly increasing in price when the interest rates went down just a little and the oil is staying pretty stinking stable? It's about 70, 71. So all of a sudden to jump almost $1.
They're trying to put the squeezes on us. The gut punch, I was told that was still coming. That we were going to have a gut punch to America. Is what was going to happen here soon. So, or not soon, but yeah, actually soon, between now and July. I'm saying that variation far out because I don't like the dates. I'm not saying that way because so many asswipes said it, but I was told the gut punch was still coming, and it seems like they're putting the screws to us. It's the same way as where I see that they're fucking with the markets. Like a certain person. Like they're trying to screw Trump that way, and they're trying to screw Trump all sorts of other ways. Oh, and I think it's funny, by the way, speaking of that. They said, okay, we all hate Trump. Let's start off blue sky. Then all these liberals get edited and fact checked and all that on their own fucking page. It's hilarious. And they were pissed off at their own page. And a lot of them are coming back to X. Because they want speech.
Yeah, well, the market, right now the market's in extreme fear. And the other, like last week, we had Walmart family, Warren Buffett, Bezos, Zuckerberg, and what's his name? Gates, sold off a crap load of the market. So they're trying to create these problems, create more problems. Then you got Walmart, what they did, and they're jacking prices the hell up.
I was gonna say they're asking the what they're doing is they're messing with their money twice. First, they're messing with their money in the stock market, and then second, they're messing with their money because their money is our money. As soon as they mess with children, and as soon as they invested money into crimes, another crime against humanity. Because trust me, I am not saying.
Well,
anything
yeah, and
negative
there's crimes
but
against
the
the
shot was
Yeah.
one of the crimes against humanity. The other one is as soon as they started buying farmland, selling it to China, that's a war crime against America, which is treason. Go ahead, Steve. But
Yeah.
you know, no
Well,
balls.
yeah, even when you mention crimes against humanity, there's also crimes against the planet they've committed, the chemtrailing,
Oh,
for
and Trump
example.
sent that executive order. Go ahead with your example.
I mean, just for example, like they're messing up the soil, they're killing the trees. How come they're allowing all these forests to burn? A lot of them have been started on purpose. Look at Canada, all the drone flamethrowers lighting up Canada everywhere. And then look at here in Colorado. I mean, a lot of the forests are like half dead because the pine beetle that they could have stopped. I believe they purposely introduced it.
Yep.
And
Because
then
they check our freights, don't they? And customs for bugs, remember? Then they
Yeah.
throw fruit and stuff away because of said product. And in an incinerator, it's not just thrown in our landfill. But go ahead, Steve.
yeah, well, I mean, then you look at California. California's been dealing with wildfires forever, but they always get them out. But now the water's flowing again, filling reservoirs back up. It should have been filled up a long time ago. You got Bass. She just fired her big time fire chief.
You should be in that position, Steve. If I have
And
to
then,
rest.
right. And then one of the fire chiefs was murdered in her house.
Clinton.
Yeah, kind of weird. Yeah, she was murdered.
Wow.
Then you have Newsom Gruesome bowing down to Trump now, that the only way he's going to get any support is they're going to have voter ID.
Their money supply is cutting off. But while you're going back to the polluting of the earth, people have forgotten about Ohio. What happened there with the train wreck and that big cloud, that dark
Oh
cloud.
yeah, that was what was that? Paradise? What was that place called in Ohio?
I wanted to say Paradise or Palestine, but that's the only one.
Palestine. Palestine. It was called Palestine. Yeah. And then look at all the plastic in our oceans, in the land. We could recycle that back into kerosene, diesel fuel, and use it. But it costs too much. But yet, oil, we got to drill it, we got to pump it, we got to transport it, we got to refine it.
Hey,
They
Steve.
build a facility to react the plastic back to kerosene and diesel. Kerosene.
Well, they could have a ship go out there and float and do that. And, I mean, have the whole not reproduction, but the whole production process there. But why you said that, Steve? Something came to me. Well, sorry to interrupt, but so we get materials. We get it from all around the world. We ship it here. We ship this material and we ship it over to China. Then China goes over there and uses children and makes it. Not always children, but goes over there and uses it. And
Really
it
bad.
back to us.
Labor. The labor in China, about $100 a month for an average person. $100 a month. And we're buying these cell phones that only cost them 35 cents to make for $1,000 plus.
But how does that sound efficient, man? Because we're bringing material, shipping it over here instead of just doing it here and shipping out from here. And then once it gets shipped from here or material here and then shipped over to China, sometimes it goes directly to China. They cut out the middleman, but not always. But anyways, besides that, then it gets shipped over here. Then we have to use a plane, train, or a truck to get it to you. Sometimes
because Soros wanted to keep shipping our oil from the north by train rail because he owned the railroad for that, rather than put a pipe in which is much safer than a rail car and much more efficient. There's just
There's
all
a lot
the
of
stuff is just really out of whack. But let's look at the positive side, because Trump is going to put tariffs in. They're supposed to the 4th of March go in. That's what the market's scared about because of all the hype from the media. But anyways, as a result of that, Microsoft's coming back to the US. Apple's coming back to the US. Apple will make all their phones back here, and Microsoft will do all their productions back here now too. And then we've got those big time investors, banks, you know, $500 billion pretty much getting invested into us. Then we're finding trillions of dollars literally that are being stolen from us, the people.
and then probably put as debt too. You know, not
Right.
not towards debt, but okay. You know what? Let's rub this, and then it also while we're on the thing of debt, who the fuck do we owe the debt to? Who? No one's ever
Who?
said, "Hey, we owe it
Yeah.
to Tom over here."
Yeah, well, okay, well, it's probably because they say the debt we owe is because like China buys the US bonds or whatever. But however, we get the money from the Federal Reserve that's not even part of the federal government. They are central bank. They print this from blue sky. They give it to us. We have to pay for it with our taxes. Then they take our taxes. Then they launder all this money. It doesn't. And then what about the gold in Fort Knox? Why has Rand Paul tried to get in so many times? And as he said like 5 times, and they refused him access. This is for quite a while now. If the gold is there, why are you refusing access?
I don't know. That's just absolutely.
They're really saying the gold's probably not there. So, but we talked about this. It could be hidden somewhere else to keep it out of the hands of the, you know, the elitist oligarchs that are running the world. Because our politicians will move it out in a minute. Because I heard rumors something about Obama moving gold out of Fort Knox. And then we heard about Trump pulling gold back into the U.S.
They said
from other locations.
They said it was an astronomical amount, like 20 something or 50 something C-17s or C-130s that flew in and out. It was an incredible number, but it actually came out of Trump's mouth. So
yeah, and then the gold, our gold that we're supposed to have is devalued. So this may be where gold would go up. I don't see silver going up much because we have to use it for production stuff. Silver's been suppressed for over 200 years anyways. Gold could go up, but who can afford to buy gold at $2,900 an ounce?
yeah. I also see that copper is going to go back to where it was and it's supposed to be.
Right.
Because that just got stupid for who knows why. There was a reason why it got stupidly expensive. But that, once again, Steve, that is in everything as well.
Right.
Literally everything.
Yeah.
But the yeah, it's just crazy that the way that they're you know, the way that they're you know, screwing us over basically.
Oh yeah.
I was just trying to show you, Steve, they already got to the Fort Knox. This is what they got. I was trying to find it, but it was hard.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be pretty bad. There's going to be a lot of people arrested if that gold's not there. They're going to go back to all the former presidents.
I actually, that might be the one that that might be the lightning strike that starts the arrests. You know what I mean?
It could be because, you know, Q kept saying gold destroys the Fed. that would make perfect sense. And with all that missing, it would be definitely a suicide weekend.
Well, if they haven't found it, by the way, the gold, I got a good hint for you guys under the Vatican. Check there.
Yeah. They left it there. But why is, since Trump's been threatening this, the Bank of London, the UK, has been moving all their gold out and bringing it to somewhere in New York. Does that make any sense?
There are more actions that make sense than people's talking. They're not, you know, like for example, remember when he jumped in front of the Queen, or you know, other stuff like that. And then remember he also followed after Biden, followed after him. But then the other thing I noticed is our flying White House that's based out of here, the Doomsday plane, has American flag on the back, and a lot of our military aircraft have American flags on the back. And then Trump switched from a T to American flag on it 2 years ago or 3 years ago, before he even announced coming to president again.
Well, that's probably because he always has been the commander in chief.
Yeah,
He never quit being the commander in chief. And in fact,
we know he didn't.
They're really hinting at perhaps a third term.
I don't know about after this. It makes it, I'm with Juan. It makes us look weak that we don't have anybody else, and we're only relying on
Well,
him.
the problem is not that we don't have anybody else. Certain people are anointed for certain things.
Yeah.
And we need time to groom somebody to keep it together after President Trump leaves. What we have to do is maintain what's being put in place. And you got to stay on it like crazy. And within time, it'll start going back, you know, but that's when the end comes, you know. 2,500 years after the temple was defiled at 120 BC, before Christ, or Yeshua. So, you know, you count it backwards from there, we're within, with the correct calendar, roughly 90, 98 years. Because remember, he said, you will know the season, but you will not know the day nor the hour. Because even Enoch asked, when? Because remember, the book of Enoch was written for a remote generation in a far time for the end times. And who are we? And then the book of Enoch starts showing back up. So there's that, and what I'm alluding to is maybe after President Trump, there won't be any more presidents. Maybe we'll end up going to some other kind of form of government. Go to the original government where you have righteous men and Yahuwah. He is our God. He is the head of the government. As long as we follow after his ways and we have righteous people running things down here and we're under the correct financial system, we don't need a president anymore because we have a king already in Yahuwah. And he's already established all of his laws, all his commandments. They've never changed.
Just a matter of people actually trying to follow it. Because that, yeah, that reminds me of some of the, remember that horror I told you about earlier? The dumbass that, I mean, I call her a dumbass. The one woman that screwed 100 guys, and she wound up getting pregnant, which is kind of ironic because to me, it almost is like Yahuwah saying, okay, you want to do this? Here's your actions and your consequences. And there was also another woman that did 1,000 guys. She's also too. She's pregnant too, Steve.
Well, yeah.
The It sucks for the kid is they'll never know who their father. Well, not never, but
Well, yeah, they probably won't, but look what they're going to grow up under. That's what I mean. You know, when I say very few will find the way, reality, very few are the chosen ones. Because people that are the chosen ones are going to seek and really digitally, and they'll seek beyond what they've been taught by the seminaries. They're going to search for ancient scripture. They're going to pray to Yahuwah to be guided and to reveal truth to them. And the only people are going to be asking that and looking for that are chosen ones.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty scary. Depart from me, worker of iniquity, I knew you not. Actually, it was depart from me, lawless ones, for I know you not. Because lawless means they dump the Torah. We still have to go after it. We still need to follow the Torah. The part we don't is Yeshua made it very clear. I am the only one sacrifice, there need be no more. And so therefore we don't need a temple. We don't need Levite priest. He is our intermediator between him and Yahuwah. And they are one, but he has made us clean so that we can now walk with Yahuwah again as Adam and Eve did in the garden.
And no fault.
Yeah, as father, son, father, daughter. We can walk with him and have conversation with him. And we worship him. There's a time for all of that. It's a time just to chat with the Father while you're hiking or you're doing stuff around the house. That's that thing, praying unceasingly. You're constantly in communication with the Almighty, Yahuwah. Ones that many still refer to him as God, but God in itself, the word, is just a figurehead, a position. Yahuwah is who he is. And that comes from Paleo-Hebrew, and it's written that way in the Dead Sea Scrolls. So in original Paleo-Hebrew, everywhere his name appears in the scrolls, it is written in Paleo. So, yeah, wouldn't it be something to think that we can move in such a direction where we have wise people, men and women, that can dissect the commandments, the word, correctly, not traditionally. And these are all the laws that we follow. These are the days, the Sabbath we continue to follow. We're supposed to follow the Sabbath. Nowhere in there did Yeshua say not to follow the Sabbath. Nothing changed. So we have all that. It's just right now our country is in a very different place. We're going to go through some pains of change. I can see that happening. They're still going to try to force inflation. They're still going to try to hurt us financially until we remove the rest of these oligarchs out of the way.
The wickedness.
What's that?
I said the wickedness from high places.
Yeah, in spiritual places, yeah, we battle not against flesh and blood, but in wickedness in high places. You know, and there's a spiritual realm.
Oh, you can't see it. But well, that's the sheriff's department trolling the people, the kids that are racing around town, telling them this is what's going to happen to your car.
Oh my gosh, they put it in a crusher.
Yeah. It's AI, but it says the cat deputies are on prowl this weekend. So
Well,
basically, they're going to get you.
that's another thing. These podcasters that put this stuff out, they shouldn't be. They can't glorify that.
The
Because
YouTube
what
video.
these kids are doing, or these people, is so stupid. You're endangering other people's lives. 97% of them don't have the driving skill of the police officer chasing them. They just have a faster car, which means they're going to get in trouble. Yeah, there's nothing no glory about it.
There's actually a famous drag racer, by the way. His name was Doug Herbert, and his sons, his two boys, died drag racing, a Hummer, nonetheless, and they wrecked into a vehicle pulling out, sideswiped it, and it killed
When did
both.
this happen?
Shit, 2010, 12, something like that. Then a program came out of it called Stop.
Well, you know, my camshafts I used to order when I lived in California, they were Herbert cams.
Wow. Yeah, actually, he had a book.
From that family, I talked to his sons also over the phone in about 90, 89, 90, talking about the camshafts that they made.
I don't know if it was the same. You might have been talking to him, and then his boys were in the 2000s, and then
Well,
they
yeah.
died.
Well, they were pretty young. Yeah, the Herbert. It was Herbert. Yeah,
Yeah.
Herbert cams.
Doug Herbert.
Yeah, that's who I talked to directly.
This is where they're trying to stop it, and this is where we need to open up more racetracks, not close them. We don't need to have Iowa so far away. We need to have a racetrack right here to where people can go do it.
Right. You know, they could take their cars out there and, make it like
$25. Here you go. Because that pays. People don't understand this. That pays for the fire truck. That also pays because you have to rent the fire truck and the ambulance. Not always, but they usually rent it. But they definitely have to have certified. There's two different certifications of EMS to be there. I forgot what the second one was.
Yeah.
There's one that they could do the whole tourniquet and everything and barely keep you alive, and then there's one that could do the full blown service until the medevac comes there. But it's worth paying that for, to have that safety. And the $25 is well worth it. But go ahead, Steve.
Yeah. Well, why can't we build something like the track they have in Germany?
Autobahn, yeah.
Well, Autobahn over here, it would take a lot of training for an Autobahn here. Because people here like to drive in the left lane. And I noticed mostly it looks like libtards and Somalians. I don't know if it's that, but you know what I mean. They just hang out in the left lane. They don't care if they're in people's way.
Yeah.
And if somebody wants to go faster, just pull over and let them by, because if you don't, you're going to create an incident. It's better just to pull over, let them by, and it's done.
Yep.
Nothing will maybe become of it. And you're not going to teach people lessons by getting in front of them and purposely holding them back. Because if you do that, eventually somebody's just going to push you right off the road. I had a friend who did that in his Charger. Some lady wouldn't get out of his way. Yeah, this was like 35 years ago. He actually went up and nudged her with his Charger. Then she freaked out and got over, but she wouldn't move. And there was a 4-lane highway going up the 101 in California. And she was in the far left lane poking, and everybody was getting jammed up. So he just cruised up on her, tapped the gas, bumped her, and then she got out of the way. Yeah. But, it's not worth it. It's very dangerous. You're putting so many people's lives at risk when you do that. There's no glory in what these guys are showing, okay? There's no glory in it at all. And besides, us guys that would like to have those cars, it's going to make it harder for us to get them. Because even my black car, my Charger, versus my 06, the 06 is governed to 149. The black car, because of all this crap, they detuned them. 2-to-1 throttle, top speed is 135.
And before anybody starts squeaking in of why you need to go that fast, because the shit talking Mustang guy next to you and you want to beat his ass in racing.
Yeah.
That's why.
And a lot of times too, you know, it's always nice to know you have that reserve. You may not use it. And then I'm going to tell you, out on the back road somewhere, sometimes you just use it when no one's around. You're by yourself and you just kind of blow a little carbon out of the motor, so to speak.
Well, it's freedom. And that's what people don't understand. What? Not in the middle of a street and busy or swerving in and out of traffic
no. I'm talking out on the back desolate road where it's just you and the blacktop and the telephone poles. Just don't hit the telephone pole.
Yeah.
You know, I'm serious.
No, you're right. But yeah, I mean, no one thinks about it that way. Of, you know, you want to go out there and have freedom when you're alone, and you know, you're not trying to injure, bother anybody or anything. You just want to go have fun with your toy. Juan even too, because he goes, "What's the point of having a muscle car if you can't go do anything with it?"
Well, that's what they were intended for, but they're not intended for people to be freaking idiots. They're not intended to get chased by the Arkansas State Police.
Or put a 360 GoPro on the back of your C6 Corvette and black everything out and try to be the coolest guy. Oh, they almost caught me, and then go away because I saw him almost get caught 3 or 4 times. Then the cops finally got tired of it, or they actually, to be honest with you, 1, they got tired of it, and 2, I think they got their not nutted anymore, or denutted. I mean, they actually were able to use their force because they slammed in that fucking Corvette. I was like, oh, they finally got him this time. And yeah, they got him. It was some Mexican guy or black guy, I forgot. And they went to his house. He had over 2 pounds of marijuana or something like that.
Yeah. Now, if you're going to do that kind of stuff, you don't want that kind of stuff in your house. Just like they busted some, gang member in Florida with a lot of drugs and no registration on the car, illegal weapons in the car with the serial numbers ground off, and they were driving erratically. So here you are, no registration, illegal firearms and drugs, and you're driving like a dickhead. And then they go back to their place. Same thing. Found a crap load more.